Mr. Wallach and Ms. Bravia. The Act for ALS program accelerated drug development, aligned FDA around an action plan, and helped to advance new therapies for treatment of ALS. And your testimony was just incredible, and the fact that there's a chance that we can actually have survivors of ALS is amazing. But you mentioned that it provides a model for many neurological diseases. You mentioned a number. I'm also interested in Huntington's. I know two families that suffer from that. And I would like to understand how we can continue the successes we've seen with ALS and apply it to the other diseases you mentioned as well as Huntington's. Do you have any further explanation of how the program can help with advancements in Huntington's as it has for ALS?
Absolutely. One of the remarkable outputs from Act for ALS is that when you fund an expanded access program, you're providing additional resources to a therapeutics company to do more research, to collect biomarker data, and to your point, Chairman Griffith, to potentially test a treatment on additional disease states. So very specifically, in the last round of Act for ALS funding, a treatment that is showing success with ALS was able to also be tested for MS because of the resources from Act for ALS. And so as we continue this work, if we can reauthorize Act for ALS, we can continue to make sure that at every opportunity we have, we test treatments, not just for ALS patients, but we use the resources to fuel treating and testing on similar diseases like Huntington's.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Mr. Quashie, if Digital Health Screeners Act were to pass, could you give us a real-world example of how a wearable would be covered and how the bill would be beneficial to individuals?
Thank you for the question, Chair Griffith. Essentially, what the bill would do is clarify what's a device and what's not a device. There was a lot of confusion about that, so I think the bill does a very good job of codifying what the FDA is doing. It also gives a reliable pathway for developers to follow as they're developing tools in terms of fitting into one of the two categories, medical device or wellness product, which is not under FDA jurisdiction. For me, wearables, and I think CTA has been very consistent in this, I think the front lines of healthcare increasingly are not hospitals or physicians' offices. They're on your wrist, they're on your finger, there are other parts of your body. Wearables are the first line of healthcare, and we need to ensure that there's greater adoption of these tools by consumers across the board.
Yeah, it's amazing some of the things that they're doing with wearables, and I just have to tell you, I had an episode about 3 years ago with AFib, which is one of the easy ones. When I went to see my cardiologist, didn't have to go to the emergency room, realized what was happening, took steps immediately, and then went to see the cardiologist pretty quickly. He was at first skeptical that my watch had gotten it right, and then I showed him the data, which was stored in my phone. He's like, "Oh, that's pretty good," and I think he was surprised at how advanced even something that's been around for a number of years has gotten. And in fact, Dr. Burgess, who was a former member of this committee, former chairman of this subcommittee, was one of the testers for a lot of different things with the watch and the wearables, but there's so many different ones today, and we appreciate the work that you've done there. Ms. Ahern, I'm glad we're working on and focusing on tick-borne illnesses. The administration has done a lot to put a spotlight on that. Back in December, they hosted a Lyme disease roundtable that I participated in, as well as Representative Chris Smith. And by reauthorizing the K-Hagen Tick Act, it will go a long way in helping increase research and awareness into these viruses, but we'll still have a long way to go in combating these viruses because there's so many of them and in fully understanding them. You mentioned that you're working on that they are working on a diagnostic test for Lyme disease. Can you elaborate on that?
Yes, Mr. Griffith. So I am the Chief Scientific Officer of a company that is working on an accurate diagnostic test. We are at the point of beginning FDA clinical trials. The test is Lyme-seq, and it is well over 90% accurate within the first few days of infection. So I did that because that was what failed my daughter, and so at that point, you know, if she had been diagnosed and treated, we wouldn't have had to suffer through long-term chronic illness, or she would not have to suffer. So there are other initiatives. You know, this is an unmet need, a recognized unmet need. The LIMEX program is working with several teams to try, again, to develop a diagnostic test. So they're working to translate research. Actually, Virginia Tech is one of those places. From the laboratory space into the commercial world. So there are options coming up.